Hi guys, how's it going? Right now we're going to be spending a little bit of time going over lesson 1.7, how to multiply rational numbers. So let's recall what we learned in our last section. In our last section we learned a positive number times a positive number will yield a positive number. A positive number times a negative number will give us a negative number. And a negative number times a negative number will give us a positive number. So what do we know from this? Well, we can see that when the signs are the same, we're going to get a positive number, and when the signs are different, we're going to get a negative number. And that's going to hold true today as well. So let's go over some examples. For starters, we're going to do negative 5/6 times 2/5. So when you're multiplying fractions together, you're going to multiply the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. Or we're going to write this as negative 5 times 2 over 6 times 5. Oops. Over 6 times 5. So this is going to give us, now what's negative 5 times 2? Well, we have a negative and a positive, so that's going to give us a negative value. And then obviously 5 times 2 is 10. Over 6 times 5, which is equal to 30. Or we can rewrite that as negative 1/3. So what do we do there? We multiplied our numerator times our numerator and our denominator times our denominator. That's how we'd multiply fractions together. Now, how about if we have one fraction and one rational and one decimal? Well, that means that we're going to have to convert one of these to either a fraction or a decimal. So the first one here, negative 0.3 times negative 11/30. I'm going to change negative 0.3 into negative 3/10. Now, why can I change that to negative 3/10? Well, if we say out that decimal, it would be negative 3/10, right? So we're just going to put that 3 over 10. And then we're going to multiply that by negative 11/30. Now, we have two negative numbers, so that's going to give us a positive number. And then we're going to have 3 times 11 over 10 times 30, or 33/300. And that would be our final answer there. All right, so let's go over one more time what we did. We converted negative 0.30, or negative 3/10, into the fraction negative 3/10. And then we multiplied our numerator times our numerator, negative 3 times negative 11, and our denominator by our denominator, or 10 times 30. Now let's go over a situation where we wouldn't change our decimal into a fraction, but rather we're going to change our fraction into a decimal. So we would have negative 2.5 times 7/10, or times 0.7. Negative 0.7, because negative 0.7 is 7/10. All right, now let's work through this. When we have a fraction, when we have two decimals right here, we're going to line them up one under the other. Now, 7 times 5 is 35, so I'll put a 5 here and I'll carry my 3. Now 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17, so I would have 175. Now when you're multiplying decimals together, it's important to keep track of how many decimal places we have. So in our first value, we have 1 decimal place. In our second value, we have 1 decimal place. And that means that in our product, or in our answer, we need to have 2 decimal places. Or when you're multiplying decimals together, you need to count up how many decimal places you have in both values, and that's how many values you will have in your answer. All right, so I have a 1.75, and that's 2.5 times 0.7. Now, should this be a positive 1.75 or a negative? Let's look at what we got. We have a negative value times a negative value, which means they're the same sign. So this should be a positive 1.75. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the price of ENVX stock is dropping at a rate of $1.45 per hour. So we want to write this rate as a negative number. We want to find out how much it dropped after 5 hours. And we want to find if the initial price is 31.12, what is the price after 5 hours? So if it's dropping at a rate of $1.45 per hour, remember dropping means negative, right? This is one of our keying words. So it's dropping at a rate of 145 per hour, or it's negative 1.45 per hour. Now how much has it dropped after 5 hours? So we're going to just want to multiply this by 5. All right, so 5 times 5 would give us 25. Running out of room here. Just write it here. 25 will carry the 2. 5 times 4 would give us 20. Plus 2 would give us 22. We'll carry the 2. Now 5 times 1 would be 5. Plus 2 would 7. So we would get a 7, 2, 5. Now, how many decimal places do we have? We have 2 decimal places in both our values, so we're going to want to move 2 decimal places right there. And we have a negative number times a positive number, so we're going to make this value here negative. All right, so how much has it dropped after 2 hours, or after 5 hours? It will have dropped $7.25. So we've dropped $7.25. All right, so if the initial price was $38.12 per share, what is the price after 5 hours? Well, we're going to want to subtract our 38.12 from our 7.25. All right, so 2 minus 5, so 5, 6, get a 7 right here. Sorry for the small numbers, guys. And then we need a 2 minus a 0 because we borrowed that here. So this would give us an 8. Make that 7. That's a 0. And then this would be a 3. So it would be $30.87. So after 5 hours, the price of the stock would be $30.87. Awesome. All right, let's go over some practice problems here. So we have a negative 2.655 times 18.44, a negative 1 5/6 times 6 1/2, negative 5/6 times 1/8, negative 0.6 times 6/10, and negative 2 1/4 times 16.4, and then we want to place the products in order from least to greatest. So 4 4/7 times 4 4/7, 5 5/6 times negative 6 6/7, and negative 5 1/8 times negative 2 1/4. Alrighty, guys, good luck on